Welcome back to Wall Street Trends. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you invested $10,000 in the SPY ETF compared to the VOO ETF and then simply let it grow for decades? In this video, we'll walk through a hypothetical example to see how those investments might compare after 5, 10, 20, and 30 years. Let's dive right in. Both SPY and VOO track the S&P 500 index, which contains around 500 of the largest US companies, such as Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Essentially, you're buying into a basket of stocks that represent a big slice of the US stock market. 1 SPY, SPDR and P500 ETF is offered by State Street Global Advisors. Launched in 1993, it's the very first ETF. 2 VOO Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is offered by Vanguard, well known for its low-cost investing ethos. It was introduced in 2010. Both funds aim to mirror the performance of the same index but carry slightly different expense ratios, which can affect your returns over time. Our hypothetical assumptions. We need to set the ground rules for our example. 1. Annual market return. We'll assume the S&P 500 averages a 7% annual return over the long haul. Just a round figure for illustration. Reality can be higher or lower in any given year. 2. Expense ratios. SPY's expense ratio is about 0.09%. VOO's expense ratio is about 0.03%. Once we subtract these from our hypothetical 7% return, we get SPY 7.00% 0.09% equals 6.91% net annual return. VOO 7.00% minus 0.03% equals 6.97% net annual return. 3. No taxes or transaction fees. For simplicity, we'll ignore any taxes on capital gains or dividends. We're also assuming no additional fees, like brokerage charges. 4. Reinvestment. We assume all gains are reinvested to maximize compound growth. Remember, this is purely hypothetical. Real market returns and circumstances will vary, but it's still a useful exercise to see how compound interest and expense ratios can play out over decades. The comparison. We start with $10,000 in each ETF and let them grow at the net annual rates we just mentioned. After compounding year after year, here's roughly what we might see. After 5 years, your $10,000 could grow to about $13,930 in SPY and $13,990 in VOO, giving you net profits around $3,930 and $3,990 respectively. Jump to 10 years and SPY might be $19,400, while VOO edges out at $19,580. By 20 years, the compounding snowball effect becomes more dramatic. SPY at $37,640 and VOO around $38,360. Finally, at 30 years, that same $10,000 investment might approach $73,000 in SPY and about $75,200 in VOO. Although the difference may seem small each year, over 3 decades, VOO's lower expense ratio can lead to a slightly higher total return. An approximate difference of a few $1,000s on a $10,000 initial investment. What this means? This example highlights 2 key insights. 1. Small differences compound. An expense ratio difference of just 0.06%, 0.09% minus 0.03% might not look like much, but over 20 to 30 years, it can really add up. 2. Long-term investing. When you invest for multiple decades, compound growth becomes incredibly powerful. Even a 7% annual rate, minus small fees, could significantly multiply your initial investment. Of course, the actual market performance could be higher or lower than our assumed 7%. And if you factor in dividend reinvestment, tax considerations, or extreme market fluctuations, your real-world outcome will vary. Which is better? So, which ETF is better? It really depends on your investment style and preferences. If you're focusing on minimizing fees and want a more traditional ETF structure, VOO might be the winner. Vanguard's reputation for low costs and passive investing is a strong selling point. If you're an active trader or you need extreme liquidity, for instance, if you're placing very large trades, SPY might be more appealing due to its long history and enormous trading volume. In terms of total returns, they often move neck and neck. Over extended periods, the performance difference is usually minuscule, often within a fraction of a percent each year. So is VOO always better than SPY? In a long-term buy and hold scenario, VOO's slightly lower expense ratio generally gives it a small edge. But both SPY and VOO remain excellent, low-cost ways to access the S&P 500. In day-to-day performance, you'll often see very similar results, with differences of just a few basis points. Before making any moves, consider your personal goals and risk tolerance. Look at your overall portfolio diversification. Think about your holding period. Longer horizons magnify fee differences, and if needed, consult a certified financial professional for advice tailored to your situation. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of SPY versus VOO returns, hit that like button, subscribe to Wall Street Trends, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which ETF do you lean toward, and what are your long-term investing strategies? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy investing, and remember, the power of compounding is one of your greatest allies in building wealth over the long run. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only. We're not guaranteeing any specific returns. Real investing always involves risk, and past performance is never a guarantee of future results.